Sometimes you just want to play Destiny 2, but you want to play in a way that's not meta, but it's still pretty fun and effective. Well, let me show you guys something. I call this the freaking Zeus build, my boys. Put that Warlock on and start striking the fuck out of everything with your Lightning Bolt, cause god damn, this shit is fun. Just go around, keep popping it, spawn killing everything, solo everything. This is expert onslaught, guys, as you can see in the footage, but have a blast and honestly, just be a Warlock and take over everything as Warlocks are meant to do when it comes to PvE. Unpopular opinion, but do you get Song of Flame within maybe 2 minutes or less every time you pop it after you pop it? I don't think so. So if you can't relate, do not hate. This is a sick Warlock build and I'm here to show you guys what it's all about. If you enjoyed this video, if you fuck with my energy, make sure you like and subscribe, and also shout out to the winner for my super black video showing proof on screen. I do giveaways, guys. I'm gonna do another one, so be sure to check the pinned comment on how to enter. Let's get into it. So the first thing that's really there to discuss is the fact that you can get Transcendence and your super very quickly, as I mentioned in the intro. As you can see in this clip, I am, kind of cheesing the boss, but I'm just doing it to demonstrate. I'm soloing an expert haunted sector with the event going on, and you can see my bar just going completely up and my super bar that already went up from way before. But here's even a more clear demonstration, guys. I can literally just 1.5 mag the boss or any ads, and that'll do the trick for me to get Transcendence and pretty much my super as well. I'll try to put a timer, or if it's not shown, the approximate time I have on file here is about 20 seconds to get both my super and Transcendence. So that alone already creates the funness in itself, because who doesn't love using Song of Flame and just blowing up everything? And then also with the beauty of Transcendence right after to jolt every target, lightning strike every target, and run around like a maniac. And even after the buff that people haven't been looking at, jolt has actually gotten a lot better, and that's why I'm making this video, guys. I know this build already probably exists out there, so don't quote me on saying, oh, you're not the first guy to do it. I understand, but we are looking at the scale of this after the buff, because I haven't seen anyone test it out after the buff, and what I can say so far, or what you can see so far, is it's pretty damn good. So let's get into the logistics of the build then. So the super that we're using is Song of Flame, and the reason why it works so good with this build is the fact that we can get it so fast, and also it's really good for team support. I was showing solo clips earlier, but now in a 3-man team, how you should play the game, it's very effective, guys. So for obvious reasons, we're using Song of Flame because of its viability in all activities. Next we have the Phoenix Dive, the Burst Glide for movement, the Arcane Needle for our Jolt, which I'll explain in a second, and we have the Vortex Grenade because of how it weakens our targets before we can either jolt them or use our Graviton Lance against them, which ties perfectly with Feed the Void as our first aspect, because it allows us to proc Devour by killing them with things such as our Vortex Grenade. And then the GOAT itself, the Lightning Surge, and that's why we're using Arcane Needle, because while sliding, activate your charge melee and destroy the fuck out of everything. But the main thing that we need here, not really the main, but it would really help a lot if you have this, is the exotic class item with Spirit of Apotheosis and Spirit of Synthoceps. The reason why I'm saying this is because one improves your melee damage while you're surrounded, which is perfectly in sync with the jolting and the lightning jolting, and the other allows you to gain increased melee and grenade regeneration after your super ends, and knowing our super is given back to us so fast helps us like crazy. So getting to the fragments, we have Facet of Dominance, Facet of Protection, which once again another thing with being surrounded. We have Facet of Bravery, which perfectly ties into void weapons like a Graviton Lance, and melee final blows with unraveling rounds for strand weapons, which we'll talk about in a bit. But Facet of Courage, which also is helping Void and Solar abilities, and then finally Facet of Solitude, which helps our Transcendence like crazy. And let's just talk about this for a second, because I just went over a bunch of abilities, aspects, and fragments, but how did they really play in action? Well, the Pro Memoria as our heavy weapon in our heavy slot allows us Transcendence bar to go up tremendously fast because of a perk called Dealer's Choice. Now this came out during the final shape. It's a strand weapon, and it basically says if you're using strand weapons, it helps your ability to gain your super and indirectly your Transcendence faster because our Facet of Solitude. And so that's why in my kinetic I'm using the sidearm called the Call, which super goated weapon. And then we also have our heavy weapon, which is the Pro Memoria. Both are strand weapons. That is why, while I was talking to you guys, we have popped Song of Flame 2 times. You guys probably wouldn't even have noticed that if I didn't mention it. It went over your head, but look guys, it's really that easy and it's really that fun. You know, this build, as you can tell, is less gunning and running, and it's more just ability popping and non-stopping. And that leaves us with the last weapon, which I already mentioned plenty of times, but this weapon got buffed. It is freaking crazy. Use it, the Graviton Lance, as our void weapon in our second slot. It's crazy. So moving on to the mods, for our head we have Ashes to Assets and Hands On. For our gloves we have Heavy Handed, Impact, Induction, and Fastball. Fastball is not really necessary. And then for our chest piece, just like any other build, we have resistance mods. For our boots we have our Strand Holster, Strand Weapon Surge, and Invigoration. And one thing that might go over your head, this season we want to use the aspects from our bonus artifact of Supernova for Void Breaches, and Served Cold for picking up Void Breaches, which allow us to have more melee charges. And that is why you're allowed to just spam your Arcane Needle. So that was the build, guys. Wanted to make it super quick and easy to follow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.